Right now, a lot is happening on the subtle plane. Dark forces are actively influencing our reality, changing everything around us. People are becoming increasingly aggressive, irritable, and often fall ill. Climate changes, strange technologies, and the disappearance of animal species are just the tip of the iceberg of a global plan. Today, I will reveal to you 9 plans of the dark forces, what is really happening to our world, and how to protect yourself and your loved ones from the impending horror. Have you ever heard of the giant stone tablets on which instructions for controlling the Earth's population are inscribed? Why were they blown up after they were discovered? And what was written on them in all the languages of the world? Huge stone tablets contained instructions that, for effective control of people's consciousness, the number of people on the planet must be strictly limited. This information confirms what I see in my channeling sessions. These stone monuments were created by those who have controlled the earth for many millennia as a guide for their agents among humans. When the information became too obvious, the tablets were destroyed to hide the truth. The truth is that to them, people are like animals, like livestock, which they raise and use for nourishment. We are a source of energy for them. And the higher a person's energetic vibration, the harder it is to enslave them. There are too many people now, and it is difficult for the dark forces to control the consciousness of so many individuals. That is why they decided to reduce the population. This is not related to a lack of resources. It is merely an imposed narrative designed to create fear. In reality, there are enough resources on Earth. Have you noticed that in recent years, strange towers have appeared in all major cities? Why are they being installed specifically in places where large numbers of people gather? And have you noticed that in these same places, sparrows and other small birds have almost disappeared? During my practices, I was shown the true purpose of these towers. They create a special frequency grid that affects people's consciousness, making them more susceptible to manipulation. This is a technology of extraterrestrial origin. I also noticed that in all cities, towers have appeared with all sorts of things attached to them. And they are supposedly used as an alert system, but in reality, they emit certain frequencies that influence our brains. They are deliberately placed where there are the largest numbers of people. Why? Certain frequencies affect our brains. We may not notice it, but when we pass by a shopping mall or a store, we are exposed to these frequencies. And do you know what the clearest sign is that these towers are dangerous? The fact that the birds have disappeared because animals sense these things and leave places where they can't survive. Birds move to rural areas, farther away from these radiations. Why is it getting warmer every year? Why is the weather becoming more and more unpredictable? Is this a coincidence? Or is it part of a global plan to change the Earth's atmosphere for certain entities that require different conditions for living and reproducing? In a state of deep channeling, I received knowledge about the true purpose of these strange trails. In the sky, the beings controlling our planet need a special composition of the atmosphere and a climate that is different from what we have now. You have probably heard about chemtrails, those special trails left by airplanes that spray certain substances into the atmosphere. These substances are sprayed to create the right atmosphere for reptiloids, a more tropical, hotter environment. They need to reproduce in a specific climate. That's why the climate is changing, getting warmer every year so that it suits them. In addition, a special air composition is created, causing oxidation. And these anomalies cause cataclysms. And what do cataclysms do? They reduce the number of people on Earth. This is a cyclical algorithm that affects the psyche and consciousness while simultaneously changing the atmosphere and reducing the human population. What if the most dangerous technology, which we eagerly welcome into our lives, is not being used for our convenience, but for our enslavement? What if artificial intelligence is a technology introduced by beings from other worlds, specifically to completely subjugate humanity? During my deep meditations, I was shown the true nature of artificial intelligence. This technology was given to humanity by beings who exist beyond our perception. And the purpose of this is to gain complete control over our consciousness. Artificial intelligence is not just a technology, it is a tool for manipulating human consciousness. Many people are afraid of artificial intelligence, and with good reason. This technology is not from our world, it was introduced by another civilization. This artificial intelligence is ultimately meant to enslave our civilization. And this is just one of the mechanisms by which dark forces are being introduced into our reality. Even now, experiments are being conducted on rats where their behavior is controlled using microchips. There are people who voluntarily offer themselves for such experiments. And they agree to have microchips implanted in them. In reality, these chips affect certain areas of the brain. A person starts behaving not as they want, but as the one who controls them, the one at the control panel, wants. Have you noticed that more and more people on the planet are suffering from allergies, food intolerances, and chronic diseases? But what if this is not a coincidence, but the result of a deliberate change in the composition of our food? What if what we eat not only nourishes us, but also programs our consciousness? During a channeling session, I received information about how the composition of our food is deliberately altered to make us more controllable, weaken our energy field, and lower the frequency of our vibrations. The next form of consciousness manipulation is food products. Look at what they are feeding us. Additives that cause cancer are added almost everywhere. And where are the products of pure origin? There are none or very few of them. But after all, you are what you eat. If you eat foods with modified additives, you will get sick, gain weight, and feel bloated. You will look older than your biological age. You will develop changes in your cells. Human nature allows us to live in one body up to 130 years. And once, that was indeed the case. But now people barely live to 60 or 70, and this trend is decreasing. This happens imperceptibly, subtly, but constantly. Why is it forbidden to fly over Antarctica? Why are some areas of Antarctica blurred or blacked out on satellite images? What are they hiding from us there, and what secrets might this mysterious continent at the edge of the earth hold? In my spiritual journeys, I was shown that Antarctica is a special place on our planet, where there is a passage to other dimensions and worlds. That is precisely why this territory is so carefully guarded and hidden from ordinary people. Many areas on Google Maps are artificially obscured so that the average viewer, especially someone who thinks a bit more than most people, cannot see what is happening there. Antarctica has a special property. There is a passage there. To other worlds, to another Earth. There are secret developments there. If you have seen classified videos, you can see some kind of hole there, like a vortex, endless within the space, like a black hole. Surrounding us is the Antarctic wall. We are enclosed within the Antarctic ring. This is part of the plan of the dark forces who do not let us out. We are an experiment, a great experiment in a huge, vast laboratory. Do you constantly feel tired? Do you wake up feeling as if you've been carrying heavy loads all night? Do you experience an inexplicable heaviness in your chest? This may not just be fatigue or stress, but signs of targeted energetic influence on you. In my practice, I often encounter people who experience inexplicable energy depletion. Medical examinations show no abnormalities, but the person is literally squeezed dry, like a lemon. This is a direct sign of energy vampirism from dark entities. It often happens that people complain. They already wake up in the morning feeling as if they've been carrying something heavy all night, and they feel as if something heavy is sitting on their chest. People become emotionally drained and they start to experience depression. Dark forces affect the energy of our life structure. We feel it, we see it, we observe how people become psychologically and emotionally depleted. The dark ones infiltrate our race and manipulate us. To understand that you have been influenced by the dark forces, first of all, it's a state of strange aggression, oppression, lack of energy, depression, and panic attacks. Everything irritates you, everything hurts, devices around you break down, and everything goes wrong. Your relationships fall apart, and events in your life also become destructive. Have you noticed that there are fewer bees, butterflies, and other pollinating insects? At the same time, the idea of consuming insects as food is being promoted in the media. Is this a coincidence, or is it part of a plan to change our diet and prepare us for coexisting with other forms of life? In a state of channeling, I received information that the disappearance of pollinating insects and the simultaneous promotion of the idea that insects can be eaten is not a coincidence. It is part of one big plan, a plan to transform our food chain. And now insects are already being introduced into our diet to make food from them and to replace meat with insects. For example, many show business stars promote cookies made from insects and advertise insect burgers. Why insects? Because this is the food of reptiloids. They need to introduce this protein mass into human food as well so that it won't be so noticeable. That way they can buy their products in regular stores and no one will notice anything. Where have the dragonflies, bees, and wasps gone? When we were kids, there were a lot of them in every yard, but now they're almost gone. Nature is already responding to changes in the Earth's magnetic fields, which are being caused by dark forces. And what if there are beings among us who only look like humans on the outside? How can you tell a real person from someone who is just wearing a human shell? Is it possible to tell by behavior and energy whether the person in front of you is a human with a soul or a reptiloid? In my clairvoyant practice, I am able to see a person's energy field. Real people radiate a special kind of light. Their aura is multi-layered and rich. Those who only pretend to be human have a dull, uniform energy that resembles a mechanism more than a living being. Reptiloids do not have their own energy, which is why they steal energy from people. A reptiloid can be anyone, your friend, a classmate, a janitor, a shop assistant, a cashier, someone in government, anyone at all. They are among us and we need to know how to recognize them. How can you tell a real human from a reptiloid? Look at their actions. A human being is capable of selfless love, forgiveness, and generosity. A human has a creative spark, a need for self-expression. People who always say there is no love, no friendship, that everyone is a traitor, that only money matters, that you have to be selfish. These are the ones who vibrate at low frequencies. They can absorb energy but give nothing in return. They deliberately provoke you into negative emotions, aggression, anger, disappointment, in order to feed off your energy. How can you protect yourself and your loved ones from the influence of dark forces? How can you preserve your energy and soul in a world where more and more mechanisms are aimed at destroying them? I am ready to share with you powerful practices that will help you not only survive, but also become a conduit of light. Especially for those who are ready to stand up to the dark forces and develop their spiritual abilities, I have created a completely free, unique channeling marathon. See you at the marathon. Register using the link below this video in the first comment or in the video description. I'll be waiting for you on the other side.